Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. So, I am super excited for today. Zachary and I have had a couple things come up, and we've made it happen. We're here. So I am just very pleased. So Zachary is a veteran, founder, and director of Ocean View Stables. He combines horsemanship, technology, and business. We're going to talk a lot about that today. Started his military journey in 2009, where he developed strong leadership skills that have guided his entrepreneurial path. He's passionate about creating opportunities that bring people into the present moment, fostering a sense of calm and balance. And so, thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Absolutely. So tell us just a little bit more about yourself, if you will.
Sure. I joined the military out of high school. Did my thing, deployed to Afghanistan. When I got out of the military, I went to college. I was going for computer science, and I was riding horses professionally. I ended up meeting this Vietnam vet who tipped Mustangs, and he gave me the opportunity to help him. It helped bring me back to sanity, helped me through my PTSD. At the time, I didn't know I had it. Later on, I realized it was the horses that helped me, and I dedicated my life to them. So here I am, over a decade later, and several businesses later, and still riding horses, building businesses, and helping military veterans.
Amen, man. And thank you for what you've done, do, and will do. So truly, thank you. So if we can, let's kind of before I get into it, because I always forget this, I get in the conversation and totally forget. So on the right hand corner, top of your screen, there's a blue QR code. Please scan that. It takes you to empowerperformancestrategies.com for people listening on the podcast forums later on. There you go, empowerperformancestrategies.com. And it has all kinds of resources for veterans. It has some free ebooks I've written. It has some Facebook groups to get involved in. So just please check that out and be part of our community. So with that said, what part of the journey, you met the Vietnam veteran, and what really made you say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is on my heart. This is drawing me or pulling me. What started the whole real process there to say, hey, I'm going to be a kick-ass horseman. I'm going to do this. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to help veterans.
So, I mean, the horses in general started with a girl in high school. I liked the girl. She liked horses. So that was like the start of me getting involved in horses. And then I joined the military, and I was, actively still trying to pursue horsemanship. Then I got out, was going to college, was on the equestrian team. I was trying to be involved with horses there as well. And when this opportunity happened, it really, I think this guy saw that I was kind of a broken soul. He saw something in me that was like him when he was younger. And so he gave me the opportunity to help him, and it turned things around for me, because I was pretty broken and lost when I got back from Afghanistan. I left the military. I no longer had purpose. I no longer had a team. I had a lot of things that the military really puts structure in your life, and you think getting out is going to be exciting because you're going to be a civilian and go conquer the world, and you lose a lot leaving, and that hit me hard. And then the horses, they helped me get present again. And that presence and that feeling was something that I was just chasing. So I needed to be around the horses. It was the medicine I needed.
Love it, man. And I believe there's a song, something about chasing your dream because it won't chase you back, right?
I was thinking, save a horse, ride a cowboy. But yeah, that one's good too. Yeah.
There you go. And it's so powerful when you run into that one person that changes your life, you know, that one person that makes that impact. And when you look back, it's just insane, you know, that how your life trajectory has changed because, well, the girl with the horse, obviously, or horses, obviously. And my wife jumped on about the horses. She's from Colorado, so she's a horse lover too. You guys, I'm sure we'll meet soon, since you're so close, especially. But it's
Yeah,
it's so impactful, man. That just those little things, and when you find that purpose, how it changes your life, right? So let's talk
yeah,
about that, if you will. You know, you got out of the military, and the pattern's very similar, right? You get out of the military, so honeymoon phase, and it's like, oh shit, you know. So what was that thing that said, you know, I need this help, and I don't want to get deep into this right now, but you know, people need to hear this to understand when they're in the same place. So what was it? Hey, I need some help. I need to make a change because where I'm at
yeah.
is
Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting question because it wasn't the initial impact that made me realize that I had a problem and the horses were fixing it. It was actually years later, looking back on it, because
Mhm.
there was just something there. I didn't know what it was, and the horses made me feel good, and I was just like, I'm chasing whatever this feeling is, and I didn't want it to leave, and I thought maybe horses were just magic, and I
Yeah.
still think they might be. And once I was in it for a while, I was like, okay, other veterans need to feel this too. And so veterans ride for free at my facility. They always have. That's a give back that I always have given. So if you come to San Francisco and you want to ride down to the beach, veterans are always free. Go ahead and do it. So years after I was, I was, riding and training horses. I started letting veterans come to my facilities for free, and then I looked back on it and I was like, wow, I'm not the kind of person who would have said I had PTSD. I wouldn't have to. I was too headstrong to whatever you call it, to agree to go to the VA and say, hey, I have a problem and I need help. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't going to do that. And
Yeah.
so I don't know what the thing is, but later on I looked back and saw that horses were healing and they healed my PTSD. And veterans coming to ride for free, there's no red tape. They don't have to prove that they have a problem. They don't have to go to the VA because I want to help those people like myself that have a problem that didn't know it and won't know it until later. So
Yeah. And that's I'm not going to say it's the norm because that's not correct at all. It's the pattern, you know. People don't know until they know, you know.
yeah,
So thank you for being vulnerable, obviously, and talking about that. And you know, as a military veteran, you're conditioned, right? Don't ask for help, figure it out, be headstrong because it's important. You need to
yeah.
be that. So I'm glad you brought up how it helped you after the fact, you know, and so on. So let's kind of dive into more of the business aspect and finding purpose or fulfillment, you know, because I
Yeah.
know, you know, you have multiple businesses and you know that success is not just business, but it's your whole being, if you will, you know. So why don't we talk about that? So as far as the business aspect of it and helping veterans, of course, but what part of the business aspect did you say, hey, this is for me. Now I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to start another business. And you know what? I'm going to start another business. And of course, how tech helped. We'll get into that in a minute. But what was it that drew you into, hey, business and this is the purpose?
Yeah. So the horses were the purpose. The business is the fun, in my opinion. They're both fun, but I like challenges, and there's nothing more challenging than trying to make a high level profit with horses. Like the big saying is, if you want to make $1 million with horses, start with two. It's, there's not a straightforward path to success in the horse industry, which was kind of exciting for me as well. You leave military, you leave war environments, and you're always chasing that high, that rush, and business and negotiations and creating systems and SOPs that work in an industry that's typically not something that you can break into with no money and create a multi-million-dollar facility in the Bay Area. So in less than 8 years, I went from bootstrapping this and strategically finding people that would let me use their pastures to eke down the fire danger and put my horses on it, and then train the horses on that land as well, and develop from that to facilities and keep growing and expanding. It's extremely fulfilling to win at this. And then I've tried other businesses, which are great, super simple. Once you can succeed in the horse industry, storage is easy, real estate's easy, whatever else you want to do, it's all easy after that. So
that's awesome. So and the cool thing is, first of all, doesn't everybody see how lit up he got when he was talking about it? That's passion, everybody. That's passion. I mean, literally, the smile, just everything was awesome to see. So when you found your success story, if you will, or your path of success, right? And you can duplicate it.
Yeah.
So let's before we get into that, let's talk about, all right, I'm a veteran. I have no idea what the hell I want to do with my life. The honeymoon phase is over. You didn't pre-plan. You didn't have a plan going, out of the reintegration period. The honeymoon's over, and as Les Brown says, life be lifing, right? Life's kicking you, and it doesn't stop, right? So, what are some tips, thoughts, and what did you do specifically to find that fulfillment? Number one, and what were the first steps you took?
Yeah. So first thing was, again, I started with this gentleman who gave me this opportunity. Then from there, I went into Intel, started gathering information, trying to figure out how other people succeeded. I went and worked for somebody who had a horse business that was successful for free for a year. A whole year, every extra moment that I had, I spent with this guy. And because I was working for free, he felt a value that he owes to me. So I was able to drive around with him. He always talked to me and explained what he's doing and how he was doing. I would be the guy that if he needed to go wrangle up some horses at 2 a.m. up the hill somewhere, far away, I would go with him because I'm free when his other employees cost him. So, I was able to spend a lot of time with the guy who makes it happen. And with that, I was able to gather all the information to make it happen myself. Now, I didn't just go into it for free. I said, hey, I will work with you. But in return, I want you to help me build a business at the end of this. Yep. I'll give you a whole year. And he ended up not doing that for me. So that was, he actually towards the end was like, I honestly, the contract I told you I can get you, I did not expect you to withstand a whole year. So I don't actually have the ability to do that. And so we cut ties. It kind of broke our story, which for my case it was for the better. But that was, if I would have done it over and over and over again, because I learned what to do and what not to do from his success and failures, which was huge. Then the other thing I did, so first you need to figure out what it is you want to do. And I suggest you find something you can do for free, because if you can't do it for free, you can't do it forever. So find something that you're passionate about, something that it doesn't matter what it is, you follow the passion and the money comes. Well, I'm in horses and I made a lot of money. Right. So the idea from there is, I now had an idea. I learned all of the things I needed to do, and I was broke out of the military, with a couple horses, which eat better than I do. I was living off top ramen. So my next strategy was, how do I come up with capital? So I decided to leverage college to come up with my capital. I had the VA, which would pay me housing. So now my housing is taken care of, more so. And then I had, I was broke at the time, so I had the FAFSA, and I can grab, the loans that you don't have to pay back till you're done with college. So I was able to stack those loans, stack the VA benefit money, stack the FAFSA, all of this stuff. And in a short few semesters, I had enough money to get all of the equipment, all the things I needed to start a packing business where I could pack people in for honey trips. And so that was the first venture. And then I rolled all the money back in, kept eating top ramen till I got the next business going. And then I kept scaling. And to this day, I've taken almost nothing from my horse business, and I've rolled it all back into other businesses. So my wife and I found a way to stay frugal throughout this whole thing. Her way of staying frugal is she only sees some of the money, and she's allowed to spend that. My way is I roll it all back into other ventures and other things. So that was a part of the success story. There's a lot more to it.
Well, let's stop there for just a second. I want people to really understand, because my story is similar. Again, the pattern is very similar. I dropped out of school right after 8th grade. I went down a dark path. I went, through all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that because it's an issue. It's made me who I am. I learned from things like you did, right? Everybody, I found those mentors, in construction, and I learned and soaked in every single thing I possibly could about that. And then the business and this, and it's grown into, a successful construction company and other businesses as well. So I want you to just stop and think about that. I'm not saying don't go to college, everybody. I'm not, your choice and your passion and what fits for you is right. Just learn from mistakes, because that's how you grow. Learn from other people that are successful. And it's, for me, for you, obviously, we anybody that has that success pattern and they're proud of who they are and they've learned and they're successful, I promise you, people that are passionate coming up, we will share. We will get you further faster. And it's so much easier than making all the same mistakes yourself over 20 years that you can learn in a year.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing is, be resourceful, just like Zachary here. I mean, that's, that is success, period.
Now, with the college thing, I leveraged college to build my business, but I also, it took me a decade. I finished, and the thing is, I believe anything you do, and if you can build a character trait in yourself if you put something in the universe, you finish it. If you could do that one thing, your whole life will change. You say you're going to wake up at a certain time, you wake up at a certain time. If you say that you're going to, it doesn't matter. Like for me, I wanted to be the top % of earners in the horse industry. And I made it there, completely failed, and then made it there a second time. Because, it's not just make it there, but it's make it there and then, put your hat up at that moment of success. And everything that I put my mind to, like I said, I'm going to get the degree. I don't care if it takes 12 years or 20 years or 50 years. That degree is going to happen. It's still in my trajectory. If I say it, if I put it in the universe, I finish it. And it wasn't a part of my normal path, but I did it. So.
And again, pay attention to what Zachary is saying. It's discipline, right? And do the hard stuff. Get your ass up at 6 a.m. and go do what you need to do, because that builds 5 a.m. that 4 a.m. whatever. If you're the Rock, it's what 2 or 3 or whatever, But the hard stuff builds the discipline. And I
agree.
We're uncoding just for a second, guys. Can't help myself. But when you get up in the morning, man, put a smile on your face. It releases all of those good hormones and everything, and your brain is saying, "Hey, what just happened?" Celebrate the little victory. Celebrate. I got up at 5 a.m. again. I got up. Whatever. I did this. I'm moving forward. Celebrate it, because your brain is literally looking for it more, and it'll be easier and easier to do faster to create that discipline. So I just needed to get in there with that. So resourcefulness, man. Let's talk about that for a second, because again, like you, the construction company, amazing, had that dip, but we know the success pattern. We can grow it back, right? And literally grew back more successful in less than a year. So be resourceful. So tell us how you're resourceful, and then we'll move on. But I want people to understand, because not everybody has the resources, right? You figured it out because you don't stop looking, and I want to hear more about how you do it.
Yeah, early on, when I had the horses, again, learning from this person that gave me a year of his knowledge, I saw how he was able to control thousands and thousands of acres and not have to pay for it. He just basically cold called by knocking on everybody's door that had land that was overgrown and said, "Hey, I can eat that down. I can fix the fence, and I'll put some horses on there. It's gonna be beautiful." And he would just keep rotating them, and he'd have a whole book of pastures that he could rotate his horses on, and it was genius. And so I followed that game plan and was able to grow pastures and control land that I can rotate horses on. So that was one way. Another big thing, the number one thing that made me blow up in the horse industry and make a success was I was the first person to put a book online software into my website for the horse industry. So in California, like there was nobody else doing it. And so I was in the middle of nowhere, absolute middle of nowhere, like 3 hours away from anywhere. And I put together a website, developed it, put book online software in there. And I woke up one morning and there was bookings. And I was like, "Phew, okay, let's see if they'll even show up." And they showed up, and I had lessons going in trail rides. And before you knew it, it was a success. And I was able to pivot, do a 1031 exchange, move into a more populated area with the systems I put in place. At the second place, I already had some SOPs in place. Everything you do twice, you write down. So if you do it once, fine. But if you do it more than once, you write it down. And once you have SOPs for everything, then you can replicate the system. So the second place, I had SOPs for most things. And then at the second place, I had a makeshift appointment system, and I had a makeshift SOP system on Excel and Docs. And then I transitioned to creating an ERP system from an open source process. Again, still going to school for computer science, one class at a time, still learning and putting it to action. And then from there, I was able to put all of this.
Zachary, really quick, I'm sorry. What is ERP?
Yeah, no worries. So it's an enterprise resource planning software. And it's basically like for your business, you probably have a tech stack, right?
Yeah.
To run your business. So an ERP is all of that tech stack in one spot with one login, a 360 view of the entire business, from your websites to your CRM, to your quotation cells, to your procurement, to your project management, to your social media marketing, your email marketing, literally your HR, the entire thing in one spot. And so that's a game changer, because you're not trying to rotate your tech stack to make things happen. You can see everything with everybody, and it's with an organizational system like that, you're bound to win and grow.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted people to hear it, and I learned something too.
Yeah, and so from the one that I created, I ended up getting the place in San Francisco, and then I put it together at a higher, grander scale there. And then the company that had the open source, they ended up hiring me to be a business advisor for them. So now I set up businesses that want to scale into ERPs. I now do that for them, and I help them set up the system and give them a demo for it. And yeah, it's very fulfilling. It's a whole nother aspect of my career. And now that I'm in it, I put a very high goal in corporate America that I now have to hit, separate from my horse industry. So,
Yeah, fantastic, man. Thank you for sharing that. I interrupted. I'm sorry. You were talking about I'm sorry. You were talking about resourcefulness and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So as far as resourcefulness, I came into it with nothing, and I found ways to afford to have the horses, and I was able to find a way to make a difference by, again, putting software in a system, a horse industry where nobody else had it. That was resourceful. I leveraged the college degree that I was getting, even though I was doing it over a very long period of time. Leveraged college to be able to build my business by getting those loans and using the VA, the GI Bill, and and any extra money that I didn't need to survive was going towards the horses. And then another big thing is being willing to suffer. I rolled everything back into the business, and for years and years and years, I live a good life now, but it took a long time to get to the point where I have a dozen staff members that run almost everything, and we're expanding and growing, and but without me having to be there every single day.
Yeah, and that's for most businesses. I think that is the beginning, right? But you want to be, at some point, you want to be an owner, not an operator, and which you're successful doing, and that's the key. In the beginning, you're going to put in the time, you're going to build things, and it can be so exciting. And I mean, I thrive on that kind of thing. I absolutely love it. So, but at some point, or at some point, you want to be able to step away and enjoy life and not be a slave to your project, unless it's something else you're excited about, of course. Because if you're passionate about it, you're not working.
Well, see, I still train the horses because that's the passion.
Yes.
And so they call me in, and I have all the horses tacked up, ready to go. They tell me the issues that they're having that week. I jump
Yep.
on each one of them, work on the issues, and then I leave. And it's a beautiful thing. I put myself in a position to do the thing I love the most,
Yes.
and I also do the marketing and some of the things that I just have a niche for. So and obviously I oversee the ERP system, make sure that everybody's doing their job right. But those are my news. Those are because I want to, because I'm a micromanager, not because I need to. My manager, she is amazing, and she could do this without me micromanaging.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. I love that you, again, have found and still do what you're passionate about, because it's important, especially when you have a business for 10, 15, 20 years, to still find the pieces that you love so that you're still passionate about it. It's super important. So if you will, let's we got about 5 minutes left. So if we can, if I want to, again, the people that I try to help the most obviously are reintegrating veterans. So you're getting out of the military. You don't know exactly what you want to do with your life. How do you find the passion? How do you suggest finding, what you love?
Yeah, that's a really hard one. I know a lot of people, a lot of veterans that come out a little empty, and they get to ride, and some of them just stay, and they end up being a cowboy, and changing the identity to that, and that's great. But it's hard. I didn't know that was going. I always had it in my soul, and I always had horses in my life. I didn't know that I was going to be able to revolve my life around it the way that I did. But then when I finally, at one point, I looked at it and I was like, I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have any soldiers underneath me. I don't have anything going on. I am just a single person that exists in this world that has an opportunity to do whatever the heck I want right now, with the GI Bill giving me the ability to make enough money to live while going to school. All I have to do is keep my grades up, and then I can choose to do whatever I want with the rest of my time. It was just a unique experience, and it's unique to military veterans coming out. If you leverage college appropriately and you use that GI Bill, you can focus the rest of your time, do the minimum credits you need to be able to get the money you need to live through that GI Bill, and do some soul searching. I I was able to do a lot of things, and I always fell back to horses. And so finally, I was just like, well, jump into it. Let's do it. No, I'll never have a better time. I'll never have less responsibility than right now.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And just a suggestion, sometimes talk to the people around you. Hey, what do you think lights me up? Hey, what do you think just gets my fire burning? What seems to keep me up late and get me up early? And the people around you sometimes will see it, and generally people will know. And sometimes they just need someone else to say, hey, what about this? A couple of years ago, we were winding down our construction company. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm 51 years old. What am I going to do when I grow up? Right. And my wife was like, you love helping people and coaching people and doing that kind of stuff. And man, my life has changed so much, just like you, right? It was always there. And then you found it. And it's amazing when you find that purpose and that fulfillment, how that's wealthy to me. Money's there, great, houses are there, cars, all that stuff. But what's really makes you happy? And really just take a minute and lean into it and figure that out for yourself. That's my big suggestion here. Like Zachary here did, and look at the success because of the passion and the resourcefulness. Man, congratulations, Zachary. Truly, man. Truly.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not over yet. Please come out to San Francisco and check out our place. We got this one a year and a half ago. We're putting studios in the back of it, 10 of them, pods where you can stay overnight. The food truck is a permanent aspect on there now with a beer and wine license. We're building a deck around it, so you can come eat food, stay there, stay overnight, ride horses down to the beach, do lessons with us. It's a whole guest ranch experience in San Francisco. So
Fantastic, man. And so how do people reach out to you? How do people find you?
yeah, so go to oceanviewstables.com if you're interested in riding the horses and that experience. If you are interested in business and you want an ERP system, or you want to build a business in the equestrian or agriculture world, I'm absolutely excited to help you. Go to zale@odoo.com. Just email me on that. That's zale@odoo.com and oceanviewstables.com. So
Fantastic. And I got to tell you, I understood what an ERP was, didn't know the term, and let's talk after the show.
absolutely, yeah, I'll set it up for you.
Absolutely,
Yeah, it's going to make your life easier.
Yeah, amen. Easy is good. Easy is good. It gives you the time to do the stuff.
zale@odoo.com. Susan.
Say it one more time.
odoo.com. I just put it in there.
Okay, awesome, fantastic, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, there it goes. Fantastic. So, if you can, of course, we always look for 3 tips to get veterans and their families further faster. What do you got?
Yeah, further faster. When you get out of the military, leverage the GI Bill appropriately. Whether you want a degree or not, it is a magic ticket to a better life. I promise you. It does. If you've done a tour, if you've spent 6 years in the military, don't be afraid to go to the VA and don't be afraid to give them your medical packet. You might not think that you have something there, but the way that they judge that is not the way you and I would think it's judged. And I, was a stubborn person at first, and somebody really pushed me into it, gave it to them, and that was another value added to my military career. I served, I went overseas. Whether you did or not, you may have jumped out of planes, you may have fallen off of a vehicle. Trust me, what you think, the wear and tear on your body is, it's probably worse. The military really takes a toll on you. So go in there, get checked out, use your GI Bill. Even if you don't want a degree, you might want a business, leverage it for that, or leverage it for a little bit of freedom, because 12 units is not a lot. You can go in there and take any classes you want, use that GI Bill, get money so that you have a little bit of time with your family, or you have time to really focus your mind on what it is you want to do next. That GI Bill is a leverage point for you to just get yourself propelled into the next steps. Third is, if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you put it out in the universe, stick to it.
Amen, man. I can't tell you how great those tips are, Zachary. Honestly, there are so many areas that you can be resourceful with GI Bills, or and the medical thing, man. We've had Dr. Monica Sanford on here, and that's what she specializes in. Make lists, ask your friends, make sure you're making those lists so that when you go in, they can help you. Don't go in and say, I don't know. Go in there with some information, So fantastic. Amazing, my friend. Thank you so much for being on. I just want to say, time is the most precious resource we have as human beings. We do not get it back. Thank you so much for spending the time with me, our audience, and spreading your wisdom, my friend.
I feel fortunate that you wanted me on it. This is cool. Yeah.
Oh, of course. I feel like you're going to be on again.
Hey, let's do it. Let's put a panel together at the stables. We'll put a couple horses in there too. Or we could do it on horseback. We can put all the people on the panel on horses, and we can have the conversation.
Okay, but I need some help first.
Yeah.
I know a guy. Love the invite, honored, and Susan and I will definitely come down. And again, Danny O'Neill with Warfighter Overwatch and Michael Hall with Hold the Reins. You're amazing people that I think we all need to connect. So I'd love it.
All right, let's set it up. I'm happy for it.
Awesome, man. I love it. Thank you again. And everybody, we're out of here.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.